Step 2. Waiting for your absentee ballot.
The New Hampshire Secretary of State's office has provided the steps and information discussed in this video.
After you've submitted your application to request your ballot, there's still some important steps for you to take.
First, you'll need to call the New Hampshire Secretary of State's Election Division at 603-271-8241 Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. to notify them that you have submitted an application to use the electronic voting system.
Great. So you've notified the Secretary of State's office, and now you're waiting for the ballot to be made available and for your voting materials to be mailed out to you. While you wait, you can go to the Secretary of State's website to track your absentee ballot. The link will be in the description. From the website, you'll be able to verify the receipt of your application and also to obtain the date when your absentee ballot materials were mailed to you. Remember, you won't receive an actual paper absentee ballot, but you will be receiving other materials, including the envelopes in which you will return your printed ballot. A reminder that in addition to physical mail, you will also be receiving 2 separate emails from the Secretary of State's office. One email will have the link to the Accessible Electronic Absentee Ballot voting site, and the other will have your PIN number. Step 3. Casting your accessible electronic absentee ballot. In order to vote electronically, you must use the email link to access the system, where you will need to authenticate yourself as a valid user before you can begin voting. Before you authenticate yourself, there's some good information to know about what you'll find on the Accessible Electronic Absentee Ballot homepage. At the lower right portion of the page, there are 2 buttons. One is a link which opens up to provide information about the system and also about navigating with a screen reader. Importantly, this is where you'll find the privacy statement, which states in part that, quote, "We do not collect information about you other than what your election official has shared with us to facilitate this service. We do not collect information about your activity on this site, and we do not collect or store information about your vote selections." End quote. So what that means is that no one will know who you voted for because you use this system.
If you have questions or comments about the system, you are encouraged to reach out to the Secretary of State's Election Division via phone at 603-271-8241. This number will be in the description.
The other button you'll find on the main page allows you to adjust your user preferences. There are 3 font sizes: small, medium, and large. There are also several different color options for your ease of viewing. They are full color, high contrast light mode, and high contrast dark mode. Once you have set your preferences, you'll need to hit the back button to return to the main page to log in. I should also note that the information page and the preferences page can be accessed from any page of the system, and even while you are making your voting selections. Okay, so you're back on the main page. You'll now need to enter your name and date of birth as it appears in your voter registration records. You will then be asked to enter your unique voter PIN that you received in a separate email.
In this video demonstration, we are using the state primary election ballot. The process will be the same for the state general election ballot.
You're finally ready to begin voting. You can expect your electronic absentee ballot to be several pages long. For each section, you'll be provided directions to select one or more individuals for that office. At the bottom of each section, you will have the option to indicate a write-in candidate. It is not required that you vote for each office. You may indicate your choice by clicking on the candidate or candidates of your choice using the Enter key. If the instructions for that office indicate, you may vote for more than one candidate for a particular office. However, do not vote for more than the number of candidates stated in the instructions. For any office, you may also use your computer to type in the name of a person who is not listed on the ballot and whom you want to write in as your selection. Use the Next and Previous buttons to move to the next office or the previous office. When you are complete with your selections and have reviewed your ballot, you will be prompted to download the instructions and the electronic affidavit. Access the electronic fillable affidavit PDF by clicking on the download instructions. You can open and complete the fillable PDF. Type your name on the form as your legal signature. Your signature certifies under penalty of voting fraud that you meet the requirements of having a print disability to vote using the absentee electronic system. Although you can complete the electronic affidavit electronically, it must still be printed and mailed in. Again, to protect your privacy, nothing is transmitted through the system electronically.
Alternatively, if you don't wish to complete the electronic affidavit, you can complete the affidavit envelope, the smaller of the two envelopes provided by your city or town clerk.
The next step is to print your ballot. Notably, when I clicked on print, it did not open the printer dialog automatically, but rather exported my ballot to a PDF file, which I could then print.
When you are done printing, fold all of the pages of your ballot. You will insert them into the smaller of the two envelopes you received from your city or town clerk. Seal that envelope. Again, if you do not wish to complete the electronic affidavit, you can complete the affidavit envelope, which is the envelope your completed and folded ballot goes into.
If you have someone assist you with the envelopes, that person may enter his or her name and signature on the line on the affidavit envelope. The printed name and signature of the person assisting the voter is a substitute for the voter's signature on the affidavit. Do not put any other materials in the small envelope. Again, it should only contain your ballot. If you are not a registered voter and are submitting a complete voter registration form with your absentee ballot, complete the voter registration form, voter registration affidavit, which does require a witness signature, and prepare copies of identity and domicile. Fold these completed documents and insert them in the larger of the two envelopes. Print your completed affidavit, fold the affidavit, and insert it in the larger of the two envelopes that you received from your city or town clerk.
The return envelope, the larger of the two envelopes you received from your city or town clerk, should already be labeled with your domicile address and the address of the city or town clerk's office. If these labels are not already on your envelope, this information must be written in.
The whole package can then be sent by mail or delivered in person to your city or town clerk.
If you opt to return your voting documents in person and you are using a delivery agent, this individual can return the sealed documents to the city or town clerk on your behalf. You do not need to be present. And a final and really important reminder, in New Hampshire, mailed-in absentee ballots must be received by 5 p.m. on Election Day. Ballots can be returned in person to the clerk up till 5 p.m. the day before the election by the voter or the voter's delivery agent. Ballots can also be delivered to a polling location by 5 p.m. on Election Day.
So again, get your absentee ballot in early to ensure that your vote counts.